Hey Potters, Miss G here. I just want to go over with you how to use a website called Canva to create some simple black and white designs that we can use to decorate our pottery with. So to give you an idea what we would do with a design like this, we would print this on a laser printer to do some underglaze transfer. We would color in the white areas with our underglaze of choice, allow it to dry, and then transfer it onto our pottery, kind of like a temporary tattoo. So the laser ink, that's the black, acts as a resist to the underglaze and allows us to have these really clean lines of our design, similar to crayons in watercolor and how crayons, the wax of the crayons resist the watercolor. So to get started, I would open up a new website. I would go to my website, canva.com, canva.com. And when I first came to this website, I did create an account with my school address, my school email address. So I suggest you do that so you can save your documents that you create. Going forward, this might be something you would like to use once you explore it a little bit in other classes to create artwork or handouts. So to start with for us, we just need to create a design. And inside of here, there's all sorts of different things that you can do, and they all have some pre-made artwork that you can pick from. But we just need a simple piece of paper size. So I'm just going to pick a flyer because it's 8.5 by 11. But because I chose a flyer, it's going to give me some pre-made templates to pick from. I don't need any of those, so I'm just going to ignore them. Instead, I'm going to, first, we need to black this out. So I click on it, I get that blue highlight around it, click on the color box, and I'm going to make it black. So now I have my black background. Then we're going to just use simple shapes. So I'm going to click on elements. And then if I scroll down, I can see that there's some simple shapes here. We can open them up to see all of them. And there's a ton of shapes here. And you can pick whatever you like. Remember, we're just needing black and white design. We don't need any gray or anything with shadows. But like we could use the hand, but you just wouldn't have the difference of the gray to the lighter gray. It's just going to be a simple two-dimensional shape. So find something that you like. You can use the same shape over and over again. You can pick two different shapes and make some kind of pattern. It's really up to you and what you want to choose. I'm just going to stick with a triangle. Okay, so I clicked on it once and it popped it over here. As you notice, it's gray and I want it to be white. So I'm going to click on the color box again and make it white. And remember, this is a whole piece of paper. So this is really huge at this point. So you can click and drag it where you want it. And then I'm going to click the corner and resize it down. So you can kind of see the numbers here too are telling you kind of the size of it. So this is like almost a 2x2 shape. And then I'm going to nudge it a little bit away from the edge. I don't like it when it sits on the edge. If you can see that, there's some black by each of the corners towards the sides of the paper. So I think I might make this a little bit smaller, actually. And then I like that size. So now I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it. And I'm going to bring it over here. These purple guidelines can pop up and kind of help you line them up properly. So I actually think I want to flip this around. So I'm going to click on those double arrows and turn it 180 degrees. And again, you see those degrees pop up and it can help you get it to the perfect spot. Now, I think it's a little bit farther away from the other one than I like. So I'm going to click on it and nudge it over. And then I like those two. So if I like these two together, I'm going to highlight both of them. So Control A highlights both of them. I can do Control C again to copy and Control V to paste. And then I can move these guys over again. I'm trying to make sure that all the spaces are even. So I'm really looking at this space in here. And I'm noticing that it's a little bit bigger than it should be. So I'm going to click on the outside and just drag across to highlight those two. I'm going to nudge them in just a touch. I think that looks good. So now I'm going to copy all of that. So again, Control A, copy and paste. I can move them over this way. So as you create your design, don't be afraid to flip things around and move them. You can resize between each line if you want, if you're making like a bunch of lines of work, which is kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to copy and paste this whole row and get that lined up. Looks good. I'm going to copy and paste all of that again. So the more you get, the quicker it goes because they're all lined up perfectly. Get that guy there. Beautiful. I'm going to do that one more time. Oops, I did the double. I copied, but I highlighted, but I didn't copy. But that's okay. That looks good. So we could print this out and have this to use. Now, after you print it and you look at your work and you look at the size of your design, if you realize that maybe you want it to be a little bit bigger or smaller, you can highlight all of it. And then you can grab a corner and you can shrink it down. You can make it bigger. Okay. So what I tend to do a lot is create the design and print it like twice. And then I'll shrink it, print it another 2 times. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger and print that. So I have a couple options to work from and kind of see what's going to work best. I'm not going to fill all them in with the glaze, but I'm going to have some sizes to work with. And if you save this design, you can always come back to it and change it up and resize it and then print it again. Out here, actually. Perfect. There we go. So I lined up. I don't think those are actually perfectly lined up in there. I'll go backwards. Look at that. Yeah. Now I'm just doing Control Z and it's taking me backwards. I might just do that. It does take a little time to kind of set it up. But then once you have it, it's ready to go. There we go. Perfect. All right. So that would be a smaller design. You can always shrink it down a little bit more from this side. And I could print that out again to use. So that is how you create some simple black and white designs in the website called Canva. Thanks, guys.